Welcome to the fifth video of this tutorial series. Today we're diving right into modeling the water tank. Thank you for your incredible support, and without any further ado, let's get started. So this is where we left off in the previous video. I thought that I could put both tank and handle modeling in one video, but it was taking just so long, so I had to make two separate videos. And without dragging too much, we will proceed. So just go ahead and make a box, and then we are going to change the dimensions to 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters. Then we can proceed to position the box in the center of the world, and before we do anything, we can go ahead and hide every other part of the toilet, so we have a clear view of the box that we're working on. Just go ahead and put the standard material on it and rename that to toilet tank. Then we can convert it to editable poly, and we are going to go into the left view and position the box right here. Now get the vertex selection, and by dragging the front vertices we are going to set them to correspond with the reference image. So go ahead, also make the object see-through by clicking Alt+X on your keyboard. Let's just first take these top vertices and drag them in height. So we're going to suppose that the height of the bottom part of the tank is going to be around here somewhere, and then we are going to proceed to model the front. Then we're just going to tweak the back a little bit, something like this, and then we can proceed to set it right here up a bit on the where the outline of the reference is. Then we're also going to tweak the top part, so we make that the back part and the front part just correspond with the reference also, and the top part just move it down and up a bit however you want it. Now click and drag. Just the thing is that we want to follow the outer line of the actual line of the references, the outer end actually, something like this. Then we're going to drag this also in the back a little bit, so we have a straight edge right here. And then we can also tweak this to fix the back, so something like this, and then grab the last vertex and drag it right here. So we have the vertices following the outer edge of the line of the reference. So now we can see that we have this little box, and what I'm going to do right now is just select the vertices on the right, and I'm going to drag them with snapping on. I'm going to drag them to the center of the world, something like this. Then we are going to select this polygon and delete that one. Maybe we can, yes, we can also delete this top one. So we're going to leave the actual bottom part of the tank empty from the top. And now we are going to proceed to fix the side. So without snapping, now we're going to move the vertices to the left right here. Just make the object see-through so you can see better, and then set the vertices to flow with the reference image. I also move the bottom vertices somewhere around here maybe, and then we are going to need to add a couple of edge loops right here. So just go ahead, select these edges and add 2 or maybe 3 segments, then click OK and go from the front end. You can now tweak the vertices like this, so you can just move them up and down so we don't have a big of a gap from the top one to the first edge loop and from the bottom one to the first edge loop, something like this. Just pull them down a bit, make them corresponding with the reference image, and then the thing I'm trying to do here is that I want them to be on the same distance, the bottom and the top ones, so they act like a supporting edge, kind of. So just a quick check right here, and then we can go from the side, from the left side, and let's just see. Now we're gonna get these top polygons and we are going to detach them, but make sure that detach as clone is selected. We can rename the object to something like tank lid, maybe. Then we are going to select that object and we are going to bridge these two edges right here, so we have the top polygon back again. Now if we go from the side view, we can pull the whole object up, so just go ahead and set the pivot in the center of the object and pull it up a bit, something like this, to correspond with the reference image. And then we are going to tweak it with vertex selection, so just pull out the back vertices and pull in front the front vertices. I'm just going to scale these two and just pull them up a bit. Then we can snap these vertices to the back one, so we have straight edges right here, also in the front. And then with edge selection, then we can go from the side, and with edge selection we're going to select these edges and connect them with two segments. Then we can tweak the top to correspond with the reference image, so just grab a vertex and then pull it down, something like this. So we just follow the references, then just double check if you have to tweak something else. Then from the front we are going to move out this part a bit, just a tiny bit, maybe something like minus 0.369 centimeters, so we don't have to fully follow the reference images. Then with both of these objects selected, we are going to isolate them, so let's just double check. Now here we can clearly see that these vertices are not aligned, so we're going to have to align them. Just go ahead and delete the bottom one, this edge right here, and the top one also, this one. And then we are going to snap these vertices to correspond with the bottom ones, also these ones, don't forget them. And then I'm going to go from the side and isolate, and I'm just going to tweak them to correspond with the reference image, so something like this. The point is that we have straight flow of the geometry, so we won't have any problems later. After that we can select the Swift Loop tool and we can add some edges right here, some edge loop maybe right here, and then also down here somewhere, and we'll just tweak them, just move them out on the side. Let's just quickly check. Yes, we're going to need to move this one too. And I think that now we have a beautiful flow of the geometry. So we still have that box that we want to have. Then we are going to select and ring these edges, and we are going to connect them with one segment for now. Also that we are going to do the same with the tank top. So just connect the middle edges with one segment. And then I think we are ready to proceed to chamfer the object. Then we can take the bottom part and we are going to attach the top part to it, so we have only one object. And with edge selection, just select these edges right here and also the top ones. Before you proceed, just double check the selection and then click on chamfer settings. Then we're going to use quad chamfer. We're now going to measure the amount according to the reference image. So it looks like maybe 1.5. Let's just make the tension 0.5 so we can clearly see now. 1.5 centimeters with a tension of 0.5 looks very good on the reference images. Also check from the front. And I think that the chamfer should be amount 1.5 with tension of 0.5. And then we're going to click OK and convert the object to editable poly. Now go ahead and isolate the object. So now we can get element selection and select the top part, and we are going to detach that. Now we're going to turn off detach as clone. So uncheck that and then click OK. The naming really does not matter because we're going to attach them pretty soon again. So now go ahead and add a shell modifier with the inner amount of 0.35. Maybe it should be good, but we're just going to go ahead and tweak it a bit just to see. Let's just see how it looks. So let's go ahead and put inner amount of 0.5 centimeters and then go down here and select straighten corners, and then you can go ahead and collapse the object to editable poly. And we are going to take this selection right here with just click here, then while holding Control click on this polygon so we get this selection, and then we are going to delete that. Now just keep in mind that 3ds Max sometimes might not get you the selection that you want. So let's say if we want to get from this polygon the outer polygons, right? And if we click on this polygon here and then double click while holding Control right here, you see it will get us a totally different selection. So just keep that in mind, and now we can proceed. Just get this selection and then you can hit delete. After that we can convert it to editable poly. And then let's just take a quick look. Let's just check the model for now. Then we can select these edges and these edges right here, and we can apply chamfer to them. So just go ahead and take the chamfer settings. We're going to apply quad chamfer with the amount of something like 0.15 maybe, and 0.12, and then take the tension to 0.5 and click OK. So I think that this will be a good amount of chamfer. And now here we're going to put an edge loop right here, and let me just isolate this object quickly and I will show you. So if we don't have these edges right here that act like a break to the other edges, if we remove this edge right here and put turbo smooth, you will see how, just a second, you can now see without isolating display that we on this side have 1, 2, 3 edges right here, right? And here we have just 2 edges, and the third edge is pulled up here, right? So if we don't have these breaks, as I like to call them, right, if we don't have them, we are going to have a mess of geometry. So just keep in mind, when you are doing chamfering, just put one edge above that chamfer so you are good to go. And the geometry will not pull anything. Also, it will not have any effect on the unwrapping later. So go ahead and end the isolate now, and you can take this object, and with edge selection we are going to get these middle edges right here and ring them, and then apply connect to the edges. So we are going to aim for now to have the same geometry for the toilet tank and for the object that is above, for the lid actually. So we can just pull the pinch out a bit, maybe something like 16, and we're going to get there. 17 is too much, so 16, and then go ahead and click OK. So now we can also see that on the front we have one edge, right, flowing, and then we have 2 edges on the side flowing from the bottom to the top part. Then we can go ahead and collapse that to editable poly. Now let's just think about a minute. So with edge constraint we can pull this edge down a bit. Maybe this edge we're going to pull it up a bit, and then we are going to pull the middle edge. So no, we're going to select these edges right here and we're going to connect them, because we're going to need an edge here, and just without any constraint pull this part out to correspond with reference image, then just a tiny bit adjust that part, and then with edge constraint we are going to pull this vertices up a bit, so we have a the same distance from one edge loop to the other one, then to the other one, etc. Then go ahead and convert it to editable poly. Now we are going to get the Swift Loop tool, and we're going to add edge loops right here, or rather one edge loop. And then instead of adding any more edge loops, we can get these loops right here, like this loop, and with edge constraint we're going to move it forward. So right here we have an equal sided square, right? And also we're going to do the same with the edge on the back, and then convert that to editable poly. Then we are going to take the top part and also apply the changes that we've done on the bottom part. So with edge constraint, just go ahead and snap to the closest vertex of the bottom part, so we have something like this. And then we can attach both of the objects. Just keep in mind that you attach the top one to the bottom one, so the naming stays the same. Then take these middle polygons and you can connect them with one segment. Just get the top part a bit and tweak it, no, without edge constraint of course. Just pull it up a bit, so we have this arc right here. Also you can tweak the other parts as you want. I'm just going to pull them up a bit, and I think that we are looking good for now. Also, we are going to need to add an edge loop to the top part right here. So go ahead and take the Swift loop and add an edge loop right here. And we have the almost identical topology for both of the elements of this object. So then we're going to go ahead and add a symmetry modifier on the x-axis. Just don't forget to check the thresholds, and then you can convert the object to editable poly. So if we now see it from the top side, we can see that it's not square as we've done it. So we are going to have to edit that. Then we can go into the modifier list and search for a modifier called FFD. So we are going to apply FFD 2x2x2, and then go ahead in this arrow and select the control points so we can edit the modifier. So make the object see-through, select these vertices right here and pull them up on the scale. Then also pull out these vertices maybe. So we have some shape like this. Then we are going to add another FFD modifier. This time we will add FFD 4x4x4. So then we can just proceed to edit the control points. So just go ahead and select the control points, or you can press 1 on your keyboard, it will select the control points like that. So take these points and put them down and just work with the reference, guys. Just don't be afraid to work with the reference. Also important is to keep in mind that if we use this modifier, we have to have the same topology for both parts. If we have a case like this, that we have bottom and top part that are separated as elements, so then we can just proceed to tweak the control points as we want them. Keep in mind that I am selecting on both sides, so here and then here, and I am just scaling them on one axis or just moving them like this. So I think that now we have the shape that I wanted to have. I will just apply edit poly modifier and isolate the selection so I can just check the model. Later I'm going to check it with turbo smooth also. I think that we're pretty much done. Let's just check the model with turbo smooth on. I think that it looks perfect, so we are ready to start collapsing the model. Of course, we're going to delete the turbo smooth, and then we can collapse the object to editable poly. But even though we didn't touch anything on the edit poly modifier, we can also collapse it with both of the FFD modifiers. So just right click here and collapse all. Now we can apply edit normal modifier, so just go ahead and search it, edit normals modifier, Control A to select all normals and click on unify, then collapse the object to editable poly. Then we are going to add a smooth modifier and set same group of smoothing and convert again. And I think that we are pretty much done, so let's just check with all the other elements. I think it looks perfect for now. So that's going to be it for this video. In the next video we are going to proceed to model the handle. So we still have left this part here, And that's going to be it. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.